Hello, everybody. Welcome to our sixth episode of podcast Way Out of Childhood Trauma. I am Barb Smith-Barklova from Your Step Counseling, for those who doesn't know me. And with me here is again Lela Mrdak from Mind Freedom Therapy. So welcome. And today we want to share a story of Lela and her journey of recovery. So, Lela, when you actually recognize that you suffer from trauma?
Well, this is very interesting, Barb, because it took me a while to realize that I have experienced trauma, and I did that with the help of a friend eventually. But my journey was very interesting because since childhood, I always felt this deeper sense of emotions, not only my own, but the emotions of surrounding people. So I was always absorbing other people's sadness, pain, suffering, and I could never make sense of it because I was always asking myself, what is the purpose of pain and why am I here? And since childhood, I have experienced traumas and tragedies, and I started asking myself this very important question, what is my purpose? And uh, throughout my life, I realized that suffering for all humankind has been something that affects me. Suffering of other children or elderly people, or in my own family, in my surroundings. So I was really confused, um, because I felt like an emotional sponge, because I was absorbing emotions, energies, feelings, and I couldn't move on with my life and forget about someone else's story or sadness. I would always try to think of a way how to make someone feel better, how to help them, how to save them. So I had this feeling of being the urge to please and being a people pleaser, not only to keep peace, um, but to find meaning, to find purpose. And the pain of others hurts me the same way as it hurts them. Um, so I think I felt very intuitive about life and intuitive about other people's intentions or energies. I could feel if someone was mean or gentle, even as a very, very young child. So um, I always told myself whenever I had experienced loss or pain or trauma that this is not going to break me. And I'm going to survive this. And I wasn't aware that there were deeper levels of pain that was the architect of my expectations and of my behaviors, of my illnesses, because I've developed autoimmune illnesses. So I think that I always felt this need to explore, to find out why I feel this way, why I feel so different from others, because I'm obviously overly sensitive compared to my family members and I feel different. So I started reading books and exploring about myself, but eventually other people have told me that I probably have signs of trauma because I was an extremely hyper-vigilant person. I couldn't trust anyone. Then I was feeling scared of creating connections with other people. I was scared of other people's intentions. I was always questioning their intentions. Do they mean well? And I was always feeling so many fears and doubts, um, and um, and I used my intuition to guide me, and I have told myself that this has to be something to awake me, not any pain, any trauma. I was thinking, what is the purpose? I have to find out. And I had to use the help of my family and talk therapies, because I was trying to define how to move on, and how to create the peace from broken pieces of my soul.
And what was that kind of tipping point for you when it started turning around? What was that you realized that the start to being from going down to going up then, and start recovering and putting pieces together? Was there some moment in your life which you would see that it was kind of turn point for you?
Yes, there were many moments, Barb. There were many moments when I felt this is the darkest moment of my life, the most painful one. And I felt like, where and how can I find the light, the meaning, and the purpose to move on, the reason to move on? And I always felt that I just have to have hope and believe that the sun will come after rain, because it always was like that. And I realized that I have so much potential to help myself with self-help books and different advice, different tutorials, and I had the ability to understand other people's feelings and to help them. So every time when I felt like I had no purpose, there would come somebody else, a friend or a family member, that would tell me even more traumatic story about themselves. And I thought, oh my God, I'm blessed, because this person is suffering more than I am. So I was able to pick up the pieces and move on, and to believe that maybe one day I will discover what is my purpose. I don't have to know it today or in 1 year, but one day I will see what that is. Intuitively, I knew it. I knew that I should do some healing work, therapy work, because as an introvert, I feel good when I work one-on-one therapy sessions, when I don't have a lot of pressure about time, and when I can focus on someone else's emotions, because I create the picture in my mind about how it felt and what this person went through. So it's like painting on the white canvas. You're painting a picture of the trauma of a client, and also painting the way out. It's like, it's something amazing, and I feel that this is something that what is my purpose, was my purpose always. It was part of my journey, part of my identity. But anyone who experienced trauma and thinks that they're okay, they don't need help, no one should help them because they're so strong, sometimes encounter triggers. And whenever something triggers you, maybe that could be a very negative comment from some person, you know, or maybe it can be even a sound or a smell. And you feel triggered, you feel scared, you're expecting, anticipating that something very bad is going to happen. then this definitely means that you need healing, that you do have a lot of trauma in your life, that you maybe have complex PTSD or PTSD, because triggers always indicate that we didn't do the healing work. And this was my case as well. When I was younger, when I was smaller, I used to think, well, if I could survive that, I can survive anything. I don't need anyone to help me. I will rely on myself. But that's true, because we're just ignoring the layers of pain, the layers of brokenness, and we're not even aware that from the subconscious level, this is creating a map of expectations, a map of behaviors, a map of our reality, and we think everything is out of our control. Our life is not the way we're expected to be, the way we want it to be, even if we try hard to change our circumstances at work, at home, and nothing seems to be as we want it to be. This is because our subconscious mind directs our life from that brokenness, because after trauma, our brain starts to work differently and rewires itself differently, because in the moments of trauma, we just need to be in the mode of surviving, and our brain disattaches from emotions and helps us to survive. But after this happens, our life changes. Nothing is the same.
What will
And
be the...
it happened to all of us. Yes, Barb.
No, what would be the difference between what did you find out that, like, when you left in the survival mode from your childhood, and then when you actually start recovered, when you start feeling that it's changing, how will you compare that? What ended, which symptoms ended, and what new came? How you would describe the difference between...
Well, I could say that when before I started healing my trauma, I always felt a lot of pain on all levels: emotional, mental pain, physical pain, because of the illnesses in the body. It's the somatic response of our body to our psyche, to our mental pain. And I could never run away from that pain. I didn't know how can I disattach from that pain once and for all. But with RTT therapy, I was able to experience instant healing, instant change, instant help, because it gave me the insight of the mindset of that little person, of little me, how I used to interpret my trauma, my family life with my parents, how I used to interpret many negative things that happened in childhood. And in therapy, I was able to change this pattern, because we use many amazing modalities of therapy, and one of them is the knowledge from neuroscience and neuroplasticity, and this helps us to create new neural pathways in our brain by using the transformative words, the transformative audio recording, and the healing vortex. That is really, really so powerful, because it gives you the power you've never experienced before in your life. Because my mother, my grandmother, nobody from my family knew how to help me to deal with pain and trauma and bad memories and bad experiences from childhood. They didn't have those tools, and they suffered a lot. So I'm very thankful that in 21st centuries we have access to amazing therapies and free resources on YouTube. And I'm thankful that we have access to RTT therapy, which is really transforming the lives of everyone who knows about this therapy.
I would ask you quite maybe hard question, Lela, but how was your grieving process of trauma? Because a lot of people not speaking about that, but as the part of the recovery from trauma, we have to go through that process of bereavement of what could happen if we will not have it. How it was for you? How
Well, the grieving process is really hard because it requires that we cry all the tears that we never cry, that were hidden in some part of our soul, and stay there to live with us every day, every night, throughout years and decades of our lives. And when you do RTT session, you find all those layers of hidden pain, and you are able to resolve and eliminate this huge amount of emotions and pain. But also what is interesting is that with therapy sessions, we are able to take our power back, and we know that we can do something positive from now on, and to go into acceptance, and to go through 5 stages of grieving, and finally to accept the reality and not to resist. Because before therapy, I used to resist a lot. And the resistance, emotional, mental resistance, is only creating even more bigger problems, creating more problems, because when you resist, when you don't want to accept the reality, it becomes even harder and more painful, and you don't see the end to the suffering. And sometimes when you feel so much suffering, that you have to do something with this amazing amount of pain and suffering. And people should not ignore it, because it can easily become a physical illness, because our body and mind are connected, they're one. And if your mind or your heart is suffering and hiding emotions and pain, it can easily become a part of your body, and it can go into different organs, immune system, or bones. And it is like your body is trying to create the physical proof that there is a lot of mental pain, a lot of emotional pain, and eventually your body gives you the proof. And it is very interesting how with RTT therapy we're able to help even the physical illnesses with the help of command cell therapy. And we can remove the mental cause of physical illness, for example, with thyroid or eczema, or different health conditions with reproductive system, or anything, because often people don't know that their physical illness comes from their mind. Because every condition has, every problem has some kind of purpose in our life.
And did your physical condition improved during your recovery journey?
Yes, it was amazing how quickly I was able to change my results, because I was struggling for many years with different therapies and different doctors, and I didn't have a lot of improvement. And especially when the doctors tell you have to live with this condition for the rest of your life, and we're just going to give you different therapies. That's all you can do. And when they give you this extremely negative prognosis of your health condition, you lose all the hope, and you feel defeated, and you feel that you have no power to change your life. But with RTT therapy, I was able to remove the cause of the illness and release it. And then I have experienced that my results were improved after a couple of months. I think it was 4 months before I experienced better results. And when I asked my doctor, can I hope that for the rest of before this year's comes, this year's ends, I can be off this medication? My doctor said, oh, you can expect it in a couple of months. We don't have to wait for the rest of for the end of the year, for December. And I thought, wow, RTT is amazing. Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yes.
Yeah, that's great. That's amazing.
It is great, but I have to say that when we do receive help for physical illness, we also have to change our nutrition and how we treat our body, and exercising. It is all included in the well-being. And I realized that I have to invest in well-being, in wellness instead of illness. And when you change your mindset, you also have to contribute with other forms of behavior, and you have to respect your body, because it is there for you, and you're gonna need your body for the rest of your life, so you better keep it in a very good condition.
That's great. That's amazing story of recovery. So if you would say one thing to our listeners, like if somebody starting to recognizing that they suffer from the trauma, or maybe what they should look for to recognize and suffer from trauma, what you would encourage them to do?
First thing that I would advise anyone is don't be ashamed to share your story, because any therapist that you work with is not there to judge you. They will understand you. They will give you support. They will give you a safe place, because it is not just their job, it is a part of their purpose. And you shouldn't be feeling this stigma of the society that something's wrong with you, with your genetics, with your DNA, with your family, if you go for therapy sessions. And when you realize this, then you can create an expectation that this is going to change and transform your life forever for the better. And when you create this positive expectation, you will feel so much power. You will feel the desire, the passion to do anything your therapist tells you to do. And you will even have the courage to face your past, to face the negative, unpleasant, painful scenes from your past, because you now have the positive expectation, the passion to transform your life, the desire, the courage to face anything. And I would encourage everyone to forget about shame and just do it. Ask for help, reach for help, and this is the best therapy I've ever experienced. And maybe many clients tell me that they haven't experienced anything like RTT, and they have tried so many different modalities and therapies over the years, but RTT has given them amazing results in a couple of months or a couple of sessions. In sometimes even only one session is enough for certain problems, issues. So I would encourage everyone, when you change your life, when you heal your pain, you're going to be a better mother. You're not going to repeat the mistakes of maybe your mother or father or your grandmother. You're going to cut that family patterns and pathology of behavior, and you're going to be better person and create better future generations, more healthy mentally, emotionally, and you can inspire other people, your friends, your family. When they see that you are changed, they're going to be inspired to try therapy and to heal. So you can also be an inspiration. That's one of the most amazing reasons to go to therapy.
You think that it's any age limit on who can recover from the trauma? What if
No.
people find out when they're in the 50s or 40s?
Yeah, that's a good question, Barb. Because sometimes people think it's too late for change and I can't be helped, or they think I'm so broken that nothing can help me. But that's not true. Anyone can be helped, and anyone can heal and find their purpose, and we can help anyone in any age. Also, we can help the children. We work with children over 8 years old. We work in hypnosis and we can help them. We can help the teenagers. We can help all age groups, because age is just a number. It's your physical age, the age of your body, but your soul doesn't have age. Your soul just has wounds and unhealed pain and wounds. That's all.
Yeah, absolutely agree with that, because I'm working really with that range from children from 10 years old to I think that my oldest client was 68. And yeah, it really doesn't matter. Of course, later people coming to therapy, it's sometimes take a little more work because it's decades of suppressing of many reactions in the life, and that grieving process can be longer because more time passed what could happen than what people could have in their lives. But anybody can be healed, so it's really about not to wait. And if people feel that they now recognizing that it's probably trauma which they suffer with, which can be anxiety, depression, panic attacks, insomnia, workaholism. The list is long. All these things which we commonly attributing it's just anxiety, or just you are diagnosed with anxiety, I have to learn to live with that, or I have the panic attacks and I can just hope and they will stop one day, or I cannot sleep so I will need to take the pills, or I have the high blood pressure, or I'm always tired, or I'm developing autoimmune disorder like fibromyalgia or other things. I would say to people like, no, go for therapy. It's all can be changed. You don't have to stay with that, is it? And that's really powerful, even from your story, that it can be changed. It can be visible on the physical level, and it's so great. It can be proved by the results of with the doctors, that they can even confirm improvement in that physical condition. So
Yes.
yeah.
Yes, I would agree with you with everything you've said, Barb, and would just like to add that sometimes people have very poor boundaries and they don't understand why do they have to please everyone and why they put other people's needs first. And this comes from trauma, also from childhood trauma and brokenness. the need to save everyone, because you were probably in a position to save your mother from the abusive father, or to save somebody in a very tragic moment, but you couldn't do anything because you were just a child. And maybe it comes from some other situation. And people who have the need to overgive, overdo, just like you said, workaholics overdo, it all shows trauma, and they have this need to earn love, to work for connection, to work to earn the belonging, the place where they belong. And just like you said, it can be so many symptoms and nightmares, and not being able to sleep, or having some chronic pain or anxiety. And even more and more children are now suffering from bullying and anxiety, and they have social anxiety. They're afraid of going back to school after the COVID and lockdown. They only had online schooling, so parents don't know what to do. They're in panic, absolute panic, and they also feel anxiety in their lives. So you can imagine how complicated that can be for some. But if they ignore it, the things will only get worse. It will not get better if you ignore the problem.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. So I want to thank you, Lela, for sharing your story of recovery. It's an amazing story of really getting much better, to completely changing your life. And that now you are a therapist and helping others to recover, which I absolutely think that it's your purpose to do. And because of that experience, you can really relate to them. So I think that people really would recommend them to go to you, because you can relate to how they feel that you went through on your story of that. So you know what they're speaking about and how they feel. So I will thank you very much for sharing your story. And if you listen to us, please follow, push like or share, so more people can learn about how to recover from childhood trauma, what can be steps, or where they can find the help. And so I am Barsis Marklova from Your Step Counseling, and with me here was Lela Mrdak from Mind Freedom Therapy, where if the people will want to work with you, Lela, where they would find you, where will be best to contact you?
Yes, well, they can use Instagram. They can find me on Mind Freedom Therapy. They can use Facebook under name Danijele Mrdak. They can find me, and my website is www.mindfreedomtherapy.com. And yeah, these are the resources to find me and contact me.
Oh,
What
that's
about
good.
you, Barb?
Yeah,
Where they can find you?
yeah, I can be found on the Facebook as Your Step Counseling or Barb Smith Marklova, on my website, your-steps.co.uk. But so, and if you will have any question, leave us comments on Podbeans or Spotify or YouTube or wherever you listen to us, on Google Podcast, on iHeartRadio. Please share, please follow for our next episode, when we will share more stories of recovery and more resources about what steps of recovery people can take to recover, to get way out of childhood trauma. So thank you very much for listening, and see you next time. Bye, Lela.
Bye.